Curries are one of those things that I think everyone gets scared about making from scratch, but let me tell you, it is easy peasy, so simple. All you need is a trusty food processor, blender, and you know what? If you don't have either, you could use a mortar and pestle. Now, we start every good curry paste with a few similar ingredients, whether you're doing green, red, yellow, any curry in the Southeast Asian area. You're gonna start off with some shallots, some garlic, and some ginger. Now, the bigger pieces will break down. So garlic straight in, 3 cloves, 4 cloves, 5 cloves, all of that's gonna be acceptable. Ginger, a good thumb, and I'm not even gonna peel this because I can tell it's young ginger. You can see here the skin's very pale and almost translucent. That's gonna blitz up absolutely fine and add a lovely flavor. As ginger is a little bit fibrous, just give the blades of the food processor the best chance possible to cut it up. So this one's gonna be a green curry paste. So I wanna get the chlorophyll from the ingredients I'm using, whether that's kaffir lime leaves, green chili, coriander root. You can see they're all green, and the color, a lot of the color is going to come from those. So I've got 6 green chilies here. 3, I'm gonna take the tops off, cut in half. I'm just gonna scrape the seeds out. Get a little spoon, and just working away from him, pushing away with the spoon, just scrape them out. And that's the simplest way without using a knife and working parallel to the bench. You're gonna remove the seeds from the chili. There we go, 3 green chilies de-seeded. Now the seeds of chilies can be a little bit bitter, and I don't want them to overpower the other great ingredients we're using. Move those seeds to the side. With the 3 whole chilies, just give them a rough chop before we get them in. There we go. Lemongrass, 2 spears. Now this obviously adds, as the name suggests, a lovely lemon scent to the whole dish. It is very fibrous, so what you want to do with the back of your knife or the spine, give it a good bash, and then give it a good chop into about 1 centimetre pieces. And what that's doing is taking most of the load off our food processor and keeping it on the board with our trusty knife. Coriander, an essential ingredient in most Southeast Asian cooking. So the roots, which I've washed in, and a few of the leaves. Pick out the older leaves if you've got a bunch that's wilted a bit in the fridge, get them in there. And of course, some spices. So spices are an essential part to a good curry paste. I have turmeric. Now, it's going to layer up a fantastic flavor paired with the ginger. Obviously add that vibrant yellow color to the paste and the curry overall. About a teaspoon of that and a teaspoon of cumin powder. I find cumin powder just adds that complexity to the curry paste and the overall dish. And once again, about a teaspoon of cumin powder. Now this recipe is just a starting point. Test it, try different things, add some of your own flavors into it. It's gonna work perfectly. So now with the lid on, I'm gonna turn the motor on low and gently stream in oil and blitz it until I have a fine, smooth paste. Well, plug it in first. There we go. This paste is exactly where I want it. It's nice and smooth. It's gonna cook out till it's nice and tender, but most of all, what its job is to do is add that complex but delicious taste to the curry. So about 3 tablespoons of this paste is enough for a family or a meal for 4. And the rest of this paste now, I put in a jar or a Ziploc bag or a little ice tray and freeze down, and that's gonna last for months on end in the freezer. Just pop it into a pan and gently cook it for your next curry. The curry paste has the oil in it from when I was emulsifying it and blitzing it in the food processor. So I'm gonna cook it over a low heat until the rawness is cooked out of all those ingredients and it changes to a deep caramel dark brown color. It's gonna take about 10 or 15 minutes. Once the curry paste had cooked off and become that deep, dark brown color where I wanted it, I just poured over a couple of cups of coconut milk. So here I have a nice center cut piece of firm white fish. I'm using rockling, but you could use snapper, you could use barramundi, you could use lots of different fish in this. So I'm just gonna, to make a little go a long way, this is a great dish for about 4 to 5 people. I'm just gonna cut it into 3 centimeter chunks. First splitting it down the middle, running lengthways, and then cutting it again crossways. And just place that into the curry and let it cook for about 4 to 5 minutes or until the fish is cooked, and then we're gonna do our final season. So I have some lime juice here on the table, I have some fresh coriander, and if needed, I have got some caster sugar that I can rein in and some backup fish sauce. Now they're all the ingredients I'm gonna need because this has lots and lots of flavor in the curry paste. Those chilies have added a great kick to it. So there we go, all our fish is in, get them covered with the curry sauce, roll them over, and they're going to gently poach in this lovely curry sauce for 3 to 4 minutes, and then it's all going to be ready to serve. I've got a little bowl here just to serve it up, and I'm trying to cut my calories out. So a good tip to you doing that at home is just some bean shoots, just straight into a bowl. That gives you the effect of eating noodles, and just pour this hot sauce straight over the top to help wilt and cook those bean shoots straight away. And just a couple of nice big flecks of that fish in. Lastly, a few coriander leaves straight over. I don't like going overboard with coriander leaves to garnish, just a few in the middle is plenty. What I do like to do when I serve this up at home is give people a lime wedge. And what the lime wedge does, if it is a little bit spicy for them, the lime helps cut through that spiciness. And that, my friends, is a very simple, very tasty green curry which can be made with the most basic of ingredients and a food processor.